everyone, it's Vicky here from Crafty Heaven and thank you very much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this cute pop-up card box, and this is one of my samples for the wedding season collection by Justine Hovey, which is It's Just Paper, and I think this turned out really nice. I've also used Justine Hovey's autumn fall papers to decorate the box. I just thought it would be, a bit different with the colours, and I absolutely love it, and it just folds flat to fit inside a envelope. So if you haven't seen this collection, this is not all of it, this is just some of them. These are the ones I'm going to be using to make this project. Then I will link the video down below where you can take a look at all the collection as well as my other samples. So let's get on in today's tutorial. So you're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 11.5 by 8 inches, and we're going to score on the 11.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, 2.5, 6 and 8. And then we're going to turn it so we are on the 8 inch side, and you also want to make sure that that 1/2 inch score line is at the top. And we're going to score at 4.5 inches, but we're going to score down to the second score line. So we come down to the first one, which is this one here, and then the second one, which is this one here. We're going to flip it over, and again at 4.5 inches we're going to come down to the second score line. So we're going to go all the way down to this first score line and then down to the second. Okay, so this area here doesn't have a score line going down the center. Then you're going to need 3 pieces of cardstock that measure 4.5 by 1, and on the 4.5 inch side you will score 1/2 inch and 4. Okay, if you find it easy you can do it just at 1/2 inch and then rotate it and score at 1/2 inch. You do whichever is easiest, and then you'll do it to the other 2 pieces as well. And then you want to fold on the score lines for this piece and this one, but that score line that we did at 4.5, there's no need to fold on that because that's actually a cut line. Smaller 1/2 inch section, and then we've got that larger 1/2 inch section there. So this small one here and this rectangle, we're going to cut those off completely. And when you do your cutting you want to be really precise because you will see it. So I'm going to basically cut this score line out. Okay, so I'm going to cut up here to this first score line, and then we're going to come across on this one here. Then you have this square here, you're going to leave that as it is. Then you've got this rectangle and we're going to cut that out completely. We'll come to this tab here, and we are just going to take a wedge of that on either end. So now you should have this. To assemble it we will have the tab here, and this will get glued on to there. Then let me get my fingers in there. You'll have this score line here. This is going to fold over, so that will be shown on the front, and then you've got that large panel here that hasn't got that score line on there at all. So this back panel is where you're going to be able to write your message, and then on the inside you can add some pattern paper on there. But before we assemble this we want to add these pieces. So to do that I'm just going to open this up, so that we have the 1/2 inch tab to the left. These are going to get glued, well, one of these tabs on all 3 pieces are going to get glued onto this section here, and then when we fold them up, the other tabs will get glued onto this section. So we're going to get this tab and we're going to line up this edge just next to that score line here. Okay, so I'm going to add glue onto this part here, and we're going to fold, and we're going to, and I'm going to bring it down, so probably about 1/4 of an inch or so, and I'm going to glue that on there like so. Okay, and then we're going to fold that over, and then we're going to glue that down in just a minute. Okay, going to get your next one. Again, add glue to this tab here. And this time we're going to line up this edge and we're going to butt it up to this one here that we've just glued down. Okay, so press that down, and then I'm just going to lay them on top of each other, and then that way I can see if they're all lined up nicely, which they are, and then just press that down. So now you have these two stuck down on one side, and then you're going to do the same with this one. You'll see that the tabs, when you open them up, they will all line up nicely. You're going to add glue to these 3 tabs here, and then we're going to fold that over, and they will get glued on to this section here. Just pop that open, and you will see them all lined up perfectly. And then we can add glue to this 1/2 inch tab here, and we're going to glue it on to there. For the larger panel, I'm actually using 6x6 paper, and I'm actually using, it's just paper by Justine Hovey, and this is the 6x6 Falling Leaves paper pack, and I thought I'd, you know, change it up with the wedding colours, make it a bit more autumnal, because obviously people still get married in the autumn, and I just thought that, you know, I would use these ones here. So I'm using this one and this one. So because it's 6x6, obviously my paper doesn't go all the way down to the bottom, cardstock. So this piece measures 3 1/8 by 7 5/8, and that's going to get glued down there. And then I'm going to have my pattern paper on top like so. Okay, so they will get glued on there. Then for the back, again, you'll need, if you're doing the same as me, you will need a piece of craft card that is 3 1/8 by 7 5/8, and then some white card for your message that is 3 1/8 by 7 3/4, and that way it just makes it more sturdy. So I'm going to glue all of them down now. Okay, so that's that one stuck down as well as the back. Then I'm going to add my craft card and pattern paper, so to the sides and the front of the box. 2 of cardstock, if you're doing the same as me, that measure 1 3/4 by 4 1/4, and the pattern paper you'll need 2, that is 1 5/8 by 4 1/8. And then for this area here, you'll need a piece of card that measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and your pattern paper is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. For this, you'll need a piece of card that measures 3/8 by 3 3/8, and then your paper is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay, so that's now all added, and as you can see, it's made it really sturdy. Now we just need to decorate it. So for this, I am using it's Just Paper by Justine Hovey, and this is the wedding season collection. Absolutely beautiful. If you want to see a closer look at the collection and my samples, I'll link that video down below and you can go and have a look. So we're using the Sassy Sentiments Love and Marriage A5 stamp set, and then we're using the Celebration Sentiment, and then I've used the Rings and Things die set. And finally, I've used the Heaps of Hearts die set as well. So I've cut some of the bigger images out in rose gold glitter cardstock. Hearts I've cut out in white. We have this beautiful die cut here. So I've cut it out in white and then backed it with the rose gold glitter. And then I've got the sentiment stamped on there. So my idea is to have the sentiment along the top here, just to break that up a bit. Then I was going to add this one on the front, both of them with foam tape. And to attach my images, I've cut strips that measure 4 inches by 1/2 inch, and I'm not going to say how many because you can decide how many images you want to add. So I just cut a few strips and I've glued them on to the die cuts. So I was thinking that I would have the rings on this back one here and have it roughly about there. And glasses, I'm just going to add to the next one, and I'm just going to glue that on there. OMG on this front one here and have it further down, and then just fill any other areas up with the hearts. And there we go. So I've added the die cuts and I think this turned out really nice. And then this just folds flat, and this will fit into I'd say a 6 by 8.5 envelope. Obviously you'd have to make a custom envelope for that size, but yeah, I think it's turned out really nice, and I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial on how I put my sample together for the It's Just Paper by Justine Hovey wedding season collection. If you enjoyed this video, then please give me a big thumbs up, and please support my channel by hitting that subscribe button. And as always, I'll link the products down below as well. So take care guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.